Welcome to Storytimer at Large. Sherry Lee Gibson. The story of what happened to Sherry Lee Gibson is incredibly tragic. All of the cases I research and write about are tragic. But the investigation into Sherry Lee's murder involved multiple false accusations and even the conviction of an innocent man, John Jeffers. The ripple effects of tragedy and trauma just kept on going for years. Sherry Lee Gibson was born on the 27th of September in 1951 to Annabelle and Louis Gibson Jr. She graduated from Shoals High School in 1969. Shoals is a little town east of Lagodi. It's beautiful there. Rolling hills and old hardwood forests make it a very scenic part of Indiana. By the mid-70s, Sherry Lee Gibson, 23, was working in the data processing department of Good Samaritan Hospital in Vincennes, Indiana. She was at a point in her life where she was dating and looking for Mr. Right, her friends said. She had gone out on Friday night, and after midnight on Saturday, March 1st, 1975, an unthinkable nightmare began to unfold. She and her boyfriend, Lindy Alton, were parked on a country road. Suddenly, a man and a woman approached the car. The man beat Alton and abducted Sherry. Lindy Alton was left locked in the trunk of the car. When he came to, he began making noise to try to get help. A farmer came upon the car and released him. The two immediately called police, and the search for Sherry began. Sherry was found when firefighters responded to a fire at an abandoned house between Monroe City and Petersburg, Indiana. The couple had taken Sherry to that abandoned house about a mile south of Monroe City, and raped, tortured, and killed her. She died of stab wounds to the heart and lungs as they set multiple fires in the house to attempt to destroy the evidence. Despite the testimony of Lindy Alton, clearly describing the assailant and the woman accomplice, other men were accused and jailed. Police seemed determined that someone should pay for this crime. One innocent man, John Jeffers, was accused and convicted inexplicably of this crime, and because he was falsely accused and jailed and never saw a way out, he sadly took his own life while incarcerated. He had just lost all hope of ever being freed and exonerated. And, people in his life, believed in his innocence. But, in the court of public opinion, his name was ruined. It was just tragedy upon tragedy. The public probably assumed that Jeffers had killed himself due to a guilty conscience, until a woman came forward decades later and confessed. Her name was Ella Mae Dick. Ella Mae implicated her old boyfriend, Wayne Gone Gully. Ella Mae Dick had begun dating Wayne Gone Gully when she was in high school and he was 29. He was her prom date. Imagine a 29-year-old man at a high school prom. Gully was predatory, very controlling, manipulative, and abusive. He coerced the teen into various sexual practices that she wasn't comfortable with. 2.5 decades after Sherry Lee's murder, Mrs. Ella Mae Dick gave enough details of the crime that her story was believed. At first, she had a difficult time getting law enforcement to believe her. They had convicted an innocent man and ruined the lives of others with false accusations. She and her former boyfriend, Wayne Gone Gully, finally went to jail for this horrific murder in 2003. Recently, I was talking with my uncle, and he told me that in the early 1970s, Ella Mae Dick and Wayne Gone Gully rented a trailer from a neighbor of theirs. My grandmother had a really bad feeling about the couple and warned her twin daughters to steer clear of them, to not go near that part of where they lived. This was a really rural area, and it's not far from, not terribly far from the murder site of Sherry Lee, just maybe 30 minutes away or 40 minutes away. It's scary to think that my aunts were little kids riding bikes and playing outside so close to these killers. The only tiny spark of good in this story is the hope that someone spoke up. Someone felt guilty and spoke up, even if it meant their own freedom was taken away as well. So there's some hope in these long, cold cases. Are there other victims of Wayne Gone Gully out there? Probably. Look at the boldness of this crime. He approached a vehicle and attacked Lindy Alton, took Sherry Lee Gibson as if he had been abducting women for years. There was no hesitation. Gully was free for decades before being convicted for Gibson's murder. How many other young women did he assault? What other crimes did he commit? Hopefully his DNA is in CODIS and other crimes might be solved. Sherry Lee Gibson was only 23. She should still be here. Rest in peace, Sherry Lee Gibson.